Welcome to Gospel Glow. Today we're diving into the emotional health of some remarkable biblical characters. You know, the Bible isn't just an ancient text, it's a timeless guidebook for living our best lives. And that includes our emotional well-being. Think about it. These men and women of faith experienced the same ups and downs, the joys and sorrows that we all face in life. But they learned to navigate those emotions in a way that honored God and brought them peace. Let's see what we can learn from their stories. Imagine being Joseph, a young man with dreams and aspirations, full of hope and promise. Yet his life takes a sudden, unexpected turn. Can you imagine the hurt, the confusion, the anger, when your own brothers, your own flesh and blood, betray you in such a heartless way? The very people you trusted, the ones you grew up with, turning against you, sold into slavery. It's enough to make anyone bitter, to make anyone lose faith. The chains not only bound his hands, but also threatened to shackle his spirit. But Joseph didn't let the bitterness take root. He chose to trust in God's plan, even when it was hard to see, even when he was alone in a foreign land. His faith became his anchor, his guiding light in the darkest of times. He could have easily given in to despair, but instead he chose forgiveness. Forgiveness not just for his brothers, but for himself, to free his heart from the chains of resentment. He rose above his circumstances, using his God-given talents to prosper, to find favor even in the eyes of his captors. His resilience and unwavering faith turned his trials into stepping stones. And in the end, not only did he forgive his brothers, but he also used his position to save them, to bring his family back together. His journey from betrayal to reconciliation is a testament to the power of grace. Joseph's story is a powerful reminder that even in the darkest of times, even when life throws us the most unfair curveballs, God is with us. His presence is our constant, our source of strength. He can turn our pain into purpose, our trials into triumphs. Every challenge we face can be a part of a greater plan, a plan that we might not see immediately but is always unfolding. Just like Joseph, we can choose forgiveness. We can choose to let go of the past and embrace the future with hope and faith. We can choose to see the good, to trust in God's timing, and to believe that even when we don't understand, He is working everything together for our good. Our faith can transform our pain into a powerful testimony of resilience and grace. David, a man after God's own heart, but David wasn't perfect. He made mistakes, big ones. He faced his share of heartache and hardship. He knew what it meant to feel the weight of guilt and the sting of failure. But here's the thing about David. He was real with God. He poured out his heart to the Lord, holding nothing back. He didn't try to hide his flaws or pretend to be someone he wasn't. He acknowledged his weaknesses, his temptations, his failures, and he cried out to God for mercy, for forgiveness, for strength. And you know what? God met him right where he was. David's life reminds us that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to struggle, to feel overwhelmed, to make mistakes. What matters is that we turn to God, that we acknowledge our need for Him, and that we allow His love and grace to wash over us. Just like David, we can be honest with God about our emotions. Paul, the apostle who traveled countless miles, spreading the message of Jesus. His mission took him to various cities and regions where he tirelessly shared the gospel with anyone who would listen. But Paul's journey wasn't easy. He often found himself exhausted, both physically and emotionally, as he navigated treacherous paths and faced unpredictable weather conditions. He faced persecution, imprisonment, physical pain, you name it. The authorities of the time saw him as a threat, and he was frequently thrown into prison, beaten and left in dire conditions. He knew what it meant to suffer for his faith. Despite the overwhelming challenges, Paul remained steadfast in his mission, often turning to prayer and scripture for comfort and guidance. Yet, in the midst of trials, Paul discovered a profound truth. God's strength is made perfect in our weakness. This realization became a cornerstone of his faith, providing him with the resilience to continue. He learned to find contentment, even joy, in the midst of suffering, not because he enjoyed pain, but because he knew that God was with him. This divine companionship gave him a sense of peace and purpose. Paul's life is a testament to the power of resilience, the ability to bounce back from adversity, not in our own strength, but in the strength of the Lord. His story encourages us to persevere no matter the obstacles we face. He shows us that even when we face hardship, even when we feel weak, God's grace is sufficient for us. This grace is a source of unending support and love, guiding us through our darkest times. Just like Paul, we can find strength in God's presence. In moments of solitude and reflection, we can feel his comforting embrace and hear his reassuring voice. We can learn to lean on him, to trust in his plan, and to believe that even in the midst of our struggles, he is working all things together for our good. This trust transforms our perspective, allowing us to see beyond our immediate pain to the greater purpose he has for us. Joseph, David, Paul, they all faced immense challenges. Betrayal, loss, fear, doubt, these emotions could have consumed them, could have driven them to despair. But they held on to something stronger, their trust in God. Think about it. Joseph trusted God even when he was sold into slavery. David trusted God even after his greatest failures. Paul trusted God even in chains. They knew that no matter what life threw their way, God was in control. This unwavering trust, this deep-seated belief in God's goodness and sovereignty, became their anchor in the storms of life. It gave them the strength to persevere, the hope to keep going, the peace that surpasses all understanding. Just like these biblical heroes, we can choose to anchor our souls in the unshakable truth of God's love. We can trust that he is working all things together for our good, even when we don't see it, even when we don't understand. Life has a way of throwing curveballs, doesn't it? Just when we think we have everything figured out, something unexpected happens, and it feels like the ground beneath us is shifting. Unexpected challenges, disappointments, setbacks. They can leave us feeling defeated, discouraged, like we'll never recover. It's in these moments that we often question our strength and wonder if we have what it takes to rise again. But God created us with an incredible capacity for resilience. This resilience isn't just about bouncing back, it's about growing stronger through the trials we face. Look at Joseph. He was betrayed, sold into slavery, falsely accused, imprisoned. His journey was filled with unimaginable hardships, yet he rose above it all, his spirit unbroken, his faith unshaken. He didn't let his circumstances define him. Instead, he allowed his faith to guide him through the darkest times. He didn't let bitterness define him. He chose forgiveness. Forgiveness not only freed him, but also allowed him to fulfill his greater purpose. He chose to trust God. Trusting God doesn't mean we won't face difficulties. It means we believe that there's a greater plan at work. Think about David. He faced enemies, made mistakes, experienced deep sorrow and regret. His life was a series of highs and lows, victories and failures. But he didn't let those experiences crush him. Instead, he learned from them, grew from them, and became a man after God's own heart. He turned to God, repented, and allowed God to heal his heart, to make him stronger, to use his story for good. His resilience was rooted in his relationship with God. And Paul, he endured persecution, imprisonment, physical pain. His journey was marked by suffering, yet he remained steadfast. But he never gave up, never lost sight of his mission. His unwavering faith and determination were a testament to his resilience. He found strength in his weakness, joy in the midst of suffering, because he knew that God was with him. His story reminds us that our struggles can be a source of strength. These men, they show us that resilience isn't about avoiding hardship or pretending that pain doesn't exist. It's about embracing our struggles and finding meaning in them. It's about facing our challenges head on with God by our side, knowing that we don't have to go through them alone. Together with faith and resilience, we can rise stronger from the ashes. We're often told to keep our emotions in check, to put on a brave face, to not let our feelings get the best of us. But the Bible shows us a different way, a way of authenticity, of raw honesty before God. Think about David's Psalms. They're filled with every human emotion imaginable. Joy, sorrow, anger, fear, doubt, gratitude. He didn't hold back. He poured out his heart to God, expressing his deepest emotions, his rawest vulnerabilities. And you know what? God didn't condemn him for it. He didn't tell him to toughen up or to get over it. He met David in his pain, in his confusion, in his anger, and he offered comfort, guidance, and unwavering love. Just like David, we can be real with God. We can express our emotions honestly, whether it's joy, sorrow, anger, or fear. We can cry out to him, knowing that he hears us, he understands, and he cares. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to Gospel Glow for more inspiring content. Remember, emotional health is a journey, and we can learn so much from the wisdom of the Bible. Just like Joseph, David, and Paul, we can overcome challenges, find strength in weakness, and experience the peace that comes from trusting in God's plan. See you next time.